the most important thing a human being ever does is to do nothing. That they will just think and have time to think and work out what's happening to them.
I interview people all day, every day for the last
Yeah.
10 years.
Oh yes, yes.
So I feel like you're in good hands.
Do you interview people who are just completely hopeless and you have to, what do you?
No comment. Yeah, welcome to Cosmic Days, episode 1. All the things to be happy about, and Ed is a great example, hence why I've recruited you for the first episode. So Ed Hall, Ed is the country's most celebrated banner maker and my friend too. So yeah, I think a good place to start is where we met. Because I think that's quite a funny story. So what was the event that we were at? Because I wasn't invited to it.
I was making banners, and then I got, because making them and the banners themselves got the attention of the art world. I sort of got friendly with people in the art world. Jeremy Deller, the most notable, but also his friend Ralph Rugoff, who was director of the Hayward Gallery. Now, I get very good friendships with people, and then it really annoys me when they leave their jobs.
I needed you.
And when you need them, they haven't got a powerful job.
But, a leaving party for Ralph.
Ralph Rugoff's leaving party.
I had no idea that it was his leaving party.
But on the part of the decorations of the room was a slideshow of all the exhibitions he'd been involved with.
Yes, I remember that.
Including me at a banner making workshop at Hayward. So I went and sat down to photograph the slideshow when it came to my bit.
Yeah.
And I happened to ended up sitting next to you. Very impressed with you, but that was a wonderful experience.
It really was. I was supposed to be at a different talk.
Yes.
It was an artist called Cahill Joseph. And somehow I lost all of the 20, 30 people who I was with.
Yes.
And I just followed my feet, and then I was given a glass of champagne. And then I started to look around. Everyone was a little bit older and a little bit richer. There was a feeling in the air. And I realised I had this bright yellow wristband, which no one else in this party had.
Yes.
So I tucked that up in my sleeve. And I'm a big believer of I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I just thought, hey, if I'm in here, I'm just going to ride the wave and just trust that I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
And then I met you. Right. Well, I want to share your story because from that evening, I've loved it. And I now see your banners in a couple of different places, including when I went to the Globe Theatre recently.
No, I can't believe you went there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And the ticket cost me £5.
Yeah, no, the one thing about the Globe, you're not paying 80 or 120, are you?
But that's too cheap. I donated another £5 when I was there because I thought, guys, you're giving them away for free. But so beautiful. And the same with seeing your banners and protests and all of that. So yeah, I want to start off with just a nice snapshot of how does one start making banners? Like, what was your journey to the career that you've now created?
Well, I mean, it was quite straightforward. I joined. Studied architecture at university and became a registered architect, and then I worked in local government for about 30 years.
Wow.
We were churning out council housing, and that Margaret Thatcher decided to finish that, that must be the most genuinely stupid political decision ever made in British history, I think. But anyway, all the 800 people I was working with, their future was in doubt.
Yeah.
I became the unison convener for the office I was in. Because I could obviously draw and make things, because of the way I was living, I could stay up all night, make them overnight. If there was a demonstration the next day, I could make them. So that's how it started, really. And there were political activists who were much better at political work than I was, but they couldn't make banners.
No, and that's political work in itself. Like what you were contributing is so different and like unique, and obviously so impactful. Like, do you enjoy it?
The greatest thrill is to, because the banners, you see, are absolutely nothing in themselves. It's who they're made for, and the causes that they're keen on. The memorable one I made was when a member of the British National Party let a bomb off in Electric Avenue in Brixton. And then overnight I painted a scene of this bomb going off.
Wow.
And it's now in the collection of the British Council, and it has been in the Tate, funnily enough.
Wow, that's so cool.
But to make that overnight, painting this bomb going off with the slogans, and then having it paraded up to Trafalgar Square, I mean that's a really sort of a high, you know, a sort of adrenaline kind of thing. You know?
Absolutely.
And since then, Brixton has become sort of gentrified, you know. It's amazing.
Story.
The thing about London, change can take place astonishingly quickly, you know, and people are just not ready for it.
No, we're on fast forward in London, I think.
Yes. So,
amazing. Well, that's a huge piece of work, and you've done banners across so many different protests, trade unions. What are your favorites?
The first time I ever realized that I could do a lot graphically was when somebody said, we want like a 6-foot portrait of Nelson Mandela. But if you're told to do it, then you just have to do it and not think too much.
How on earth do you get him onto a banner? Like, what is your process? Because it's a lot of, is it felt that you're cutting out? How do you do stencils? You said about painting.
Well,
how do you do it?
There's quite jacquard is quite a famous fabric dye, so you can paint on white cotton drill and you learn, after the time I've spent doing it, you can learn more or less to paint like Velasquez. You know, you just paint, you know, and you can correct things on the cotton and paint things. But I mean, if it's remotely feasible to applique it with cotton pieces, then I'd do that, because it always looks quite spectacular. I wouldn't consider myself much of a painter or whatever, but you just have to learn do the best you can, kind of thing.
Absolutely. You know. Because you are absolutely an artist, but you never really call yourself that, I find. Hello.
Is that Caroline?
Hello. How are you? Hello. Was it a good ride today?
It was all right.
Oh, no, come on in.
Melody's interviewing me, Caroline.
We're having an interview. No, please. Because you wouldn't say, you're absolutely an artist.
The French, when I did some work for the French gallery, I'll remember the name of it in a minute, but they have a lovely word called fabriqué, which means made by or created by.
Yeah.
And I just feel you've really got to go some to be an artist. That's what I feel. You know, if Freddie Mercury was an artist, you know, and you know, or Velasquez was, you know, and they transcend that line. They're doing something which actually gives the other people a genuine insight into something they'd never thought of, or had thought about it but couldn't find a way to interpret it, and they do it. Then I sort of go to art exhibitions quite a lot during the year, and people say, "Oh, you know, I'm an artist," and you think, well, are they fulfilling that role? Are they really opening other people's brains, you know, to the sort of human condition or whatever?
Yes.
And they're not, you know. And so I always like to call myself some kind of craftsman, or you know, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all, the language is subjective all the time, but even how you've just described an artist, I would definitely say that you fit in that category.
No,
just in terms of the impact, but also, like I said, I would recognize one of your banners anywhere. So like, even with the font that you that you write in, like, that's so recognizable and stylistic. And although you will have so many different briefs from different, like Arsenal. You've done Arsenal recently.
Yes.
And then you've got the miners recently.
Yes.
And although this is so different on that spectrum, I will always be able to recognise what is an Ed Hall banner.
Oh, that's very
so
kind.
that does make it quite artistic. So say that you've just been given a brief. So like recently you've got the Pride one. What happens? Like you get a brief and then what do you do?
Well, I'll shift it on to actually one. With Fridays coming up, I'll be making a banner for Islington, the teachers of Islington.
Right.
And all they want really is the Pride flag with the Islington National Education Union. So that isn't very taxing. But the one that I will talk about is one I've made recently. Is the Bristol Unison want the staff who work for the local authority in Bristol, they wanted a banner, and we ended up deciding that they would have a pictorial of the toppling of that statue, Coulston. And they chucked it in the dock in Bristol.
Yes.
And the slogan was, "Tremble, tyrants, tremble." And then we start exchanging sketches about how it's going to look. But for me to have such a good, because he didn't, I've got there are sort of views on statues. Once they're there, you might as well have them and learn from them.
Yeah.
But some of them are so dreadful. Ceausescu or Stalin. You just don't want them.
And it feels symbolic to have them as a statue. So even learning from them, but yet the contrast of them being in a symbol, which means we should respect it. That's what it gives when it's a statue.
So I think that guy, Coulston, he couldn't stay in Bristol because he
get him in the bin.
And then I thought, what was brilliant, they then took him with the weeds from the dock and just laid him in the museum.
That was quite funny.
Laying down, not standing up. So I thought that was the best way, because people can see him, but not in any respectful way.
And also recognise the history of even the people of Bristol taking it and throwing it in the river. That in itself feels pretty momentous.
Yes, and a good. So that was one I really enjoyed, and the other ones I like best, where there's a big story behind them.
So usually, how long does it take you to do a big
banner
like that?
But that's I talk to other people who make banners, and I know them quite well. Yeah, they're not very many, but they're taking months or to make it. I set myself, if I can't make a banner in 3 weeks, it's no good to me, because I want to get on with the next one.
Love that.
And I just think, they have a lot of references to the silk woven banners of the 19th century, but I can't. 3 weeks is a maximum for me.
No. I'm bored. What's next? Okay. So where do you make them?
Well, I moved here in the 70s, and London was very, very different then. Yes. You could buy properties, and I bought some garages, and I work in there. So,
in there?
Yeah. And then if it's a huge thing to lay out.
Yes, because they are massive.
They're 2 village halls or church halls, so I can hire those. And,
yes, we walked past one last time. Yes. Yeah, so then you would lay it out.
Yeah, I can lay it out, and that's quite exciting, laying things out.
Yeah. I mean, how big is the biggest one that you've done? Do you know?
Well, the ones I made for Trafalgar Square last year, I mean, some of them were about 4.5 meters square, that kind of thing. But there are problems with size, because if they're stitched, there's a limit to what a sewing machine,
That's what I can't believe. You are just hours at your sewing machine for this big piece of work. How many hours do you do in one sitting, would you say?
I don't know, 9 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. Because the radio is there's good stuff. I mean, you've got, your musical tastes, which I know a bit about. But I mean, Classic FM does all the famous classics, and then Radio 3 does stuff, and Radio 4 is still good.
Yeah, good to
and
hear.
has 2 arts program. Well, sometimes 2 arts programs a day. You know, also you've got CDs here. I mean, I've still got a CD collection. I've got a CD player, which I don't think you can buy now.
No, you can. I've just bought my mum one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's coming back. Okay, well, lastly, just because I want to bring a bit of hope into, you know, whether it's young artists or just people living their lives who perhaps are worried about change, all those kind of things. What would your advice be just for living a...
Well, I mean, the conversation we've had about, you say, you know, sort of life can be its own reward kind of thing. There are, and sometimes it takes time to develop ideas. I mean, when I left Lambeth, when I left salaried employment, I didn't earn any money for 10 years.
Wow.
And I know many people just couldn't take that hit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think people mustn't expect to sort of make a living instantly, or even be successful instantly, you know, in and live their lives in. The most important thing a human being ever does is to do nothing. That they will just think and have time to think and work out what's happening to them. And I agree with that. Like sitting on the top deck of a bus daydreaming is the most important thing. If you're on a mobile phone all the time, you're never going to have that experience. So I think there is how wonderful it is, but on the other hand, you're really paying a penalty. That's what I think.
Really. You know, but we're the first generation to have this.
Yes.
So we have to go through that process of learning, going too far sometimes with it.
Yes.
Recognizing, this isn't actually a healthy way to live life. And finding that balance. Well, thank you very much, Ed.
No, thank you, Melody. Guest. No, that is amazing. I'm very honoured, quite honoured.